All right. So I think my computer is off in the back room. Okay. I am not sure how to do this. I mean, I am sure how to do this. But, if there's questions, this is what's going to throw me off a little bit. Well, I feel like I should make my husband watch. All right, well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and get started anyway. I just hate that I cannot see the comments. I'm going to have to put a little more effort into figuring out where my computer is and my laptop is and all the things that go with that. So, as some people join me here, I'm going to kind of lay out what I'm doing. So I am going to go from, basically, here are the molds. I have a whole stack of them back here. I don't think you can quite see them, but there's a whole stack back here of molds. I don't have my iron orchid ones that I'm waiting for, but Amazon's a lot quicker. So I went ahead and purchased quite a few, obviously. I don't know, I've got 5 or 6 of them. So lots of projects coming up with this, and my hope is with this that I can do some upcycling, some revitalizing of old crafts. We're gonna use items that I find at Remnants. That is a vintage store in Pella. Find some objects there that we can refurbish, upcycle, update, what have you. So the idea here is to combine my vintage ideas with things that I find there, and some help from the ladies that I work with there. So I'm excited to see if you guys enjoy watching me craft for a little bit. But I'm actually I'll start with the process of actually making a frame tonight. And then we're gonna paint them and end up with this. I hope you can see that well. I did send a picture earlier on the page. If you can scroll down and see that if you want to. And I did forget to attach a hanger. And the back isn't as beautiful as I wanted, but you know, for first one, it's trial and error. So, and I added a little glitter because what's Christmas without some glitter? So I'm gonna prop him up there and pull out my clay. The clay is available on Amazon. There's quite a few. So these different types of clay you can use, different things. This is just a air drying clay. I think it was like $10 for this nice package of clay. So these are silicone molds, and you can buy silicone molds on Amazon. There's lots of different shapes, anything that you really could want to mold. The ones I have coming in the mail are more frames, and then cameos and watches. So I'm looking forward to getting those. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, make sure there's no crummies in there. I mean, you can wash these obviously, but they recommend cornstarch as a releasing agent, and I'm using a teeny tiny brush because that's the only one that's clean at the moment. It's ridiculous. Anyway, you just put a little bit in there, and it helps your mold, it helps the clay not stick. I forgot it once and I didn't have a problem. So anyway, a little bit of cornstarch in there. And then I have cookies in the oven too, so that's going to make this interesting. I did make them into bars, so it's a little bit longer, but I'm going to have to pop up at some point and get my cookies out of the oven. All the FFA kids have to bring a dozen cookies to school tomorrow. So, all right, so the air dried clay actually does dry out really fast. So you keep it wrapped up in its package and in a Ziploc or airtight container. And it doesn't take much. It takes just a little bit. So I don't even know. What is that? The size of an acorn? No idea. Let's call it an acorn. And then for the frames, I learned fairly quickly that if you make this like little snake, it's a little easier to get it around the frame. Okay, I was just popping up to see if I had some viewers. And this video will be shared on the Remnants Facebook page as well, because we just would like some more people in our shop, of course. Who doesn't? So anyway, I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, so either Sherry or Kelly was going to share this on the page. So as you work your clay in there, oh man, I was being so frugal, I think maybe I don't have quite enough. Just a little smidge right there. And so you can just add, it doesn't matter. You just need to make sure it's really pressed in. And then if you get too much, it does start coming out the edges. And I'm going to scrape it with a knife. They were showing all sorts of techniques to credit cards to scrape over the mold to get it even, which I don't have an extra credit card. I'm going to get like a palette knife or something, but I just have a kitchen knife for now, and that works good enough. Okay. So just press it in really good, and then my kitchen knife, it just pulls off the excess. Oh, but you don't want to pull it out of the mold either. This is the part that I find probably to be the trickiest part of the process, because you want a nice flat back. I mean, they had all sorts of suggestions. One suggestion was a brayer. And if any of you have done this before, please drop a comment if you've got a suggestion. If I don't drop my knife. This is like the third day I've been at this. So I'm watched a ton of videos, but I am definitely still learning. And then you mold it, kind of make it as neat as you can. And then you just flip it over, and it's gonna pop. It's gonna pop out. Kind of help it a little bit, but don't push down on it real hard there. See? And then it's flatten it out a little bit. And then they say to wait like about 10 minutes before you start to paint it. You can, if you're doing a project where you're gluing it onto something, I've got a couple things started. You actually are supposed to glue that on as quickly as you can, because it'll adhere as it dries. It adheres to the shape. So when we get to these, some of them are a little skewed because the newspaper they were drawing on wasn't super flat. But these are just ornaments, so I didn't figure it was like a huge deal. But anyway, so I'm going to move this piece of newspaper over to a really, but how cool is that? I mean, just the detail on that is incredible. These molds are phenomenal. I cannot wait for my new ones to make cameos. Cameo is probably my favorite piece of jewelry. All right. I tried to get as much prep done as I could. So I have all these little bits and pieces decoupaged, and but we'll talk about that when. Okay, so the next part is, this has been drying actually several hours at this point. So if you're gonna make a gold one, which, you know, that's kind of what you see in antique frames as gold. Although I think, you know, once Christmas is over, we'll talk about Valentine's and other, you know, holidays coming up. You certainly could make them, whatever holiday floats your boat. All right, I'm making a mess with my paint here. Okay, so if you're gonna do gold, so that's, I'm just gonna assume that if you make any, or wow, that one really needs repainted gold. Just add this to the pile. The red undertone that I'm gonna put on the base coat is really to give the gold a deeper richness. So that's the idea with painting it gold. Now this has been drying for a couple hours, so it's got a pretty good crust on it. But you still want to be careful. You don't want to, you know, stick your fingernail in there and cause anything. Now it can crack as it dries. That was something that they talked, people on the videos I was watching talked a lot about, was cracking as it dried. And you know, I kind of like that, the chippy, rough look of things. It's kind of my jam. So as I paint here, I'll tell you about my evening. I was about 3/4 of the way done with supper, and I sent a message to, well, I tried to call Jacob to see when he was done with wrestling practice, and he didn't answer his phone. So then I called Annie, because I'm like, oh, it's getting about 5:45, and I haven't heard from anybody. It'd be nice to know when they're coming home so I can finish up. And Andy said, Jacob fell, and they want us to take him into the ER to get checked out. So at first I understood he, like, I don't think Andy heard the whole story. I think he's got it now, but he thought that Jacob had been taking a shower and slipped while he was in the shower. But no, he actually, apparently there's tile outside the shower area, and he was on his way to the shower when he slipped. So he didn't fall, but he must have slipped on a wet spot or something. And sorry, this is a little gross, but you know, moms, gashed above his eyebrow on the, I don't know what you call it, the rail, the brace, the bracket, I don't know what it's called. You know that, you know, when your shower slides across on the bottom? So he fell face forward, and then right above his eyebrow just split it right open. So that was, it didn't take long. The ER was not busy. Good reason to live in a small town. Okay, so I'm not going to paint the other one because I'll have a couple more to do, but I just want you to see all the steps in the process. So, and yes, they're tiny. You're just going to get paint on your hands. It is what it is. It comes off. And I used acrylic paint for this. I'm getting into chalk paint. I still don't quite understand all the ins and outs of it, so I'm learning. But I know acrylic paint, so I'm just like, I'll stick with acrylic because I know acrylic. Sides, inside, top. I didn't do the backs because I'm going to cover it with paper. You could do the back if you wanted to. And yes, I think I mentioned it in the like introduction, but I am going to make kits available, because you don't have to go buy your own molds. I can make the frames unpainted, for you. And then I'll also have them available. If you don't live near here, I can mail whatever to you, or you can pick up at Remnants in Pella if you're local. That would be preferable. Okay, so after your red has dried, and keep in mind, I did these that I just am painting here. I did these like mid-afternoon, like 2:30, 3 o'clock. So they've been drying for a few hours. They're still slightly flexible. I'm not going to, break it, and I wouldn't bend it over like a round object, but there's a little bit of give to them yet. So be careful, I guess is what I'm saying. Okay, and then I learned quickly with the gold that it does need to be shaken up. Oh, I need a paintbrush. I don't want a huge one though. I guess I'll go with this one. So I did pick up silver, which I would almost think would kind of need a blue under it to make it really pop. So I did try it with the red and I did not like it. And then I did pick up a metallic red as well, and I did not like that at all. Festive red. It just didn't, I don't know. I didn't really like it. For what I'm intending, which is Christmas ornaments, I guess. Although these would be really cute on a wreath. I don't know. I think the possibilities are fairly endless. Okay, so then the next thing after your red paint has dried, and also it's not a real bright red, it's kind of a brownish red, just, is repeat the process. Paint your sides, paint your inside, paint your top, and don't leave pools, if you will, of paint. It's better to go back with a second coat if you missed a spot, than to glob it on, because these have got really intricate little details in them and you want to be able to see that. So I don't know, I think the gold just makes it just come alive. It's pretty awesome. And I'm sorry if anybody's asking me questions. I'll go back and answer them. I'm gonna have to figure out a better system. Okay, I really hope that you guys can see what I'm doing here. Just gotta kind of assume that you can. Yeah, so just take your brush again after you've done and just make sure it's not and then seriously wait till it's completely dry, because on one of these, I think it's this one, I don't know if you can tell how much darker. One of these, like this shape, was a lot darker. Oh, I think it's this one, because I wasn't patient. Yeah. But I am going to paint over this one. It's the one I did silver, and it's kind of showing through. So, just a real quick. Probably no one would even notice but me, but yeah, so you don't really need a ton of paint on your brush. It really goes quite far. Okay. Yeah. I'd say that's a happier frame. Okay. So that's my frame painted. All right, and then you would, you're gonna get paint on your fingers, but it's okay because it's sparkles. All right, I'm just, oh, my garbage is down there. Okay, I'm just assuming that you could see all of that. Looks like my camera's pretty much in the center here. All right, so I am gonna move the wet ones over here to the side. I had a better system this afternoon when I was painting these, but okay, so I think what I'm going to do is the big one because it's the easiest to see kind of the process. But I'm going to show you all of the little frames. There's ovals. There's 2 sizes of this oval. And there was actually an even smaller, just simple oval. It didn't have any decoration, and I tossed it. It warped really badly. And there was another one that was kind of like viney and holy, and I threw that one completely away too. I didn't even finish painting that one. So there are the ovals that are a little thinner, and then you've got 2 of the more ornate ovals. I must really like those. I did a bunch. And I don't know if you can see on this one. I must have caught it on something. It's really, or I didn't get the clay down there far enough. I don't know. I have no idea. So I got a bunch of the ovals. And then I just made 2 more. And then there's, yeah, a couple different, so the one I just painted, and then there's two other sizes. So there's 3 of the square 4. Oh, Emily, I am declining. Hopefully she'll figure out that this is what I'm doing. Yeah, so that's, and then this really big one. It's a lot of difference in size. I mean, you can really see that. And then the new ones that are coming are going to be kind of similar. I don't even know. I haven't seen them in real life. I've only seen people using them in projects. So that was my inspiration. Okay, and then, so I'm going to, you know what I'll do? I'll do a big one, and then I'll do a little one so you can see. I think I have the Santa ready to go. And then, so my graham cracker box for the back. So you need a stiff piece of cardboard, and I tend to just grab whatever is lying around, although this still had 2 packages in it. We don't use a whole lot of graham crackers in this house anymore. Anyway, and then I also printed, so you can buy decoupage paper, you can buy napkins, there's a vast array of different decoupage sources. Etsy, you can buy it on Etsy. I've really enjoyed what Iron Orchid has. Jamie Ray Vintage. Those are just some of the people I've been watching lately. I think I don't know who that was talking to me. I apologize for that. But for my purposes this evening, and I have a whole bunch. I printed. Here is a bunch of different ones. I just wanted to get, and And literally I used every scrap of that box. And then I had to go tear the Amazon box that came today and put a bunch more on there. So we've got deer heads, we've got birds, butterflies, Santas, roses, angels, Mary and baby Jesus, little kids decorating the Christmas tree. I tried to do like oldie time stuff. So where I got most of these, if not all, was from the Graphics Fairy. Graphicsfairy.com. Their website has a gazillion images. It's, yeah, olds. They have everything on there. Thousands of images that you can use. So, I pulled them into a Google Doc because I don't have Word anymore. Just inserted the images, and then you can kind of resize them on there just by like pulling on the blue dots around. I can go into more details at some other point if you don't get that, but there's also a million other programs you could use. And I printed them on just regular copy paper with my inkjet printer. There's nothing complicated about it. Didn't have to buy anything special. All of these images were free. All in all, this is a relatively inexpensive project. It is more time than anything. So, and I also think it's a fairly easy project. I'm not trying to overcomplicate this or anything. So yeah, I want to show you that these teeny tiny free frames, you know, you do have to size your images so it fits. So we'll be cutting around the butterfly in that kind of oval shape. I have a pen, so I'm going to kind of try and trace around it. The butterfly, how sweet are those little birds? I don't think the birds quite fit. The birds are going to have to go. But look how sweet that is. Okay, it doesn't quite fit. It's a little too big. We'll figure it out. Okay. Now, the big question is, does Father Christmas fit into this gold frame? He does indeed. So you need to cut it a little bit bigger than your picture because you need to glue it on to the back of the frame. So that's why there's room on these pieces of cardboard. So it can be glued on. And then it does warp because there's water. And I'll talk about my decoupage process here in a second. So I'm just kind of bending it back to kind of straighten it out. Decoupage is never a perfect... Your paper is... There's water involved with paper, which makes it wrinkle. Some decoupages are less wrinkly. I do have a Mod Podge over there. But honestly, my favorite way to Mod Podge is water and school glue. This happens to be all-purpose white glue. I have no idea where it came from. I've been Mod Podging with this bottle for a long time. As a matter of fact, when it gets about half empty, then I just add water and shake it up. But I'm actually getting just about to the bottom of this one, so. And then I do have, yeah, actual Mod Podge, the real stuff over there that, you know. So this, I've already watered this down, so, let's see. Oh, sorry, I'm backing up. Back, up. I'm going to glue it onto the frame first before you Mod Podge it. Or decoupage it, sorry. I got to get all my words right here. Just using craft glue. One thing they have said is do not use hot glue with your paper clay. They, as in all the millions of people I've watched in the last week, don't use hot glue. I don't know why. I don't know if they were just talking about, like, don't use it on wooden things. I don't know. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this, but because the back of my frame isn't real, see the gap in there? It's not gonna glue perfectly. And also I'm gonna move it over just a little bit so you can see more of that joyful Christmas. I'll put a weight on it to kind of push it down as well. Okay, now I'm going to decoupage. So literally I'm just wiping a watered down all-purpose glue over the top. And if you get it on the frame, you know, wipe your excess off, but it's not a big deal. And this just adds, I mean, it's obviously not a necessary part, but it just adds a little bit of a gloss and protection to your picture. Like a seal. And then I just took the tiniest little sliver, little pinch of glitter, just a little, although I kind of missed that spot right there. I did one, just a picture earlier that I really put the glitter on, and it was too much. That was my practice one anyway, so it went in the garbage. Okay, I am going to take a small break and check my cookies and see what's going on there. I need something kind of heavy to sit on that. I'm just going to move that off to the side out here. My knife. Okay, I will be back in just a smidge. 2 seconds. Oh, perfection. All right. Okay, I'm back. So let's do a Christmas, non-Christmas. Let's do a Christmas. Let's just keep in the spirit of things here. Let's do an angel. Let's do an angel. All right. I also really like this Mary and Baby Jesus. Could do that one. And put this adorable little angel in a round one. Should we do that? Since I can't see you, I'm just going to assume that you're saying yes to me. This was, see, it's got that little, where you stick the little tabby in there. All right, this is where I got out my handy dandy ink pen. Yeah, which is over here underneath my pile. I need like a whole house that I can just create in different rooms. That'd be fabulous. All right, and just give a little mark, and you're gonna cut slightly inside that mark actually, but it just kind of gives me a reference, because you want your picture to be slightly smaller than the outside of your frame. Okay. I don't know. Does Baby Jesus need glitter? Woo! It's got a lot going on here. Oh my gosh, that's precious. Just precious. precious. All right. Pulling out the glue. So if anybody is interested in a kit, I haven't really put any thought together on prices or how many you want. So it's all negotiable at this point. I'm thinking if you just want the frames and you want to print your own, it's obviously not going to be as much. If I have to print images for you, it's going to be a little bit more, not a huge amount more. And then I don't know prices on it. I should really figure these things out before I get started. But if you know me, you know I tend to fly by the seat of my pants. Sometimes literally. Oh my goodness, that is just super precious. Okay. Let's throw some. Okay, so I made almond bars and they smell delicious. All right, what do you think, Baby Jesus? I think Baby Jesus is gonna get some glitter because everything on your tree should have a little glitter. So if we're making ornaments, Baby Jesus is gonna glitter. Not a lot, not a lot, but a little. All right, so anyway, almond bars out of the oven. The FFA kids have to bring them to Stan Harms's auction for Saturday. So, and I'm gonna go to the auction, and I think some other people I know are gonna go as well. It's supposed to be an auction. Okay. I hope the light isn't causing you not to be able to see that because it is stinking cute. All right. It's gonna go over here as well. Ugh, I really put too much. I think after it's dried, can go back with like, I'm sort of mangling it. Go back with an X-Acto knife or something and finish up the back. All right, and then we were gonna do the angel and the round, so you can see a round one as well, or an oval. I don't have any rounds. An oval. One thing that Kelly and I were talking about earlier is that gold frames are, they're just fun to, you can throw new pictures in them. You can enjoy the old people. They're not old. The people in the frames that, the old pictures. You know what I'm talking about? Like this, but you know, life size, giant, huge ones. Anyway, we've got a very nice selection of just empty gold frames, ones with people in them, at Remnants that you can purchase to decorate with. And I think Kelly is going to take a picture tomorrow and show you that. All right, does the little scrolly go at the top? Or the crown go at the top? I think the crown goes at the top. I don't know that it matters. I do not know. Oops. Probably shouldn't be moving it while I'm not a professional. I'm doing this mostly because it's fun. Okay. So I kind of, you know, it's a rough cutout there. Yep, I think we're good. And the thing is, if you get too much glue on it and it like seeps out into your picture, your decoupaging will kind of water it down a little bit. You're never even gonna know. The glitter is gonna stick to it or something. She is a sweet little angel. Just want to make sure you've got it glued nicely. And that's why setting something kind of heavy on them to make sure it gets attached. Oh goodness, I'm really all over the place with this. All right. Yeah, so that glue will dry clear. Yeah, so here's the Santa, which is basically dry. Okay, we're gonna move my, and then to finish it, I have some green Christmas paper that for some reason my mother had an entire package of this. I don't know why, but when I inherited her scrapbooking collection, this was in there, and I don't throw much away if it's a craft purpose. So you just need to kind of trace around your frame, and I'm going to try and do a little bit better job of covering the back of this one. And then if you want to make it as an ornament, this is when it's a good idea to put a hanger in it. It's so quiet. I'm assuming Jacob is asleep. I told him that's the best way to heal is to sleep. But we are thankful for not getting a concussion. And okay, so to put a hanger in this, I've got some heavier thread that I am just going to, so I also brought in some ribbon, but the ribbon's too big. So this heavy duty is just upholstery, extra strong for buttons, carpets, very heavy fabrics. So cut a little length, several inches. You're going to place it on the glue. Just a little bit. Okay. And then shiny side up. There you go. That looks better. Just lay it down. And you want to give it, don't go hanging on your tree yet. Give it several hours. Who has their tree up? I don't know that we're putting up a tree this year. We're headed to Branson with my dad and Kathy and her family as well. And that is how we are celebrating Christmas this year. We leave Christmas Eve. And I told the kids there's not going to be a gift exchange. If you want to purchase something for your siblings or your parents or whatever, and we will also be doing this as an experience down in Brandon. So a museum or an activity is going to be their gift. So, is there a point in putting up a tree? I don't know. The trees that are going to go up in this house are me putting up a tree for you guys. How's that? I have the next vignette. I'm actually kind of working on these ornaments for that as well. I'm going to do a black and gold one because in one of my recent auction purchases, I didn't know I was getting it, but it is this black and gold. It might be metal, I'm not sure. Like leafy wall decor. And then one piece is leaves and the other piece is roses. I don't know. They're very 70s. I don't know. No idea. Anyway, I thought it would be really fun to do like a gold Christmas tree with black and gold. And it's nothing to do with Hawkeyes. Okay. So here's the finished one. And you can see here, I'm going to have to go back and trim that off, but that's okay. That's an easy fix. So here is the completed ornament. I love them. It's one of my favorite crafts. Until I've made a million of them, and then they will no longer be my favorite. So, if you want these, I'll have a nice selection available at Remnants, and they're going to have a variety of Santas. I did quite a few Mary and Baby Jesuses, angels, stag heads, and then I even have, a couple birds, some butterflies, I don't know, just roses, just for fun, I guess. I don't know. Oh, a variety of things. Those could be all year round. I don't know prices yet. I'm guessing between, probably for these little ones, more like $3 or $4, and the big ones probably 10. They're fun. They're so much fun. And if you do want me to make you some blank frames, I'm not sure what I would do for a kit, but maybe one of each, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 to 10 of them, and gosh, I don't know, $15 for a set of 10 of them. That's probably reasonable. Yeah. And then you would have to, print off your own things to go in them and paint them all up pretty. But I'd be happy to talk you through any of the questions, but that could be a fun Thanksgiving activity. If you needed a little something to do while the turkey finishes cooking. I love a good craft time with people. Obviously, I'll even craft by myself, huh? But it's one of my favorite things to do is be crafty. So, and it gives me a break from sewing. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. This was fun. I do like talking, apparently. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and leave them in the comments. So yeah, we'll do a kit of 10 blank ones, unpainted, whatever, just a variety. So one of each plus maybe a couple extra, for $15, and I can ship those, or you can pick them up at Remnants, in Pella. And I will have a variety of finished ones there that you can pick up as well. All right. So stop in, to the shop and, see us. We're there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 11:30 to 5:30, and Saturday is 10 to 4, I believe. You can check their Facebook page. All right. Thank you very, very much for joining me, and I'm going to try and do this every week. on Thursday evenings. That is my goal. Unless something comes up, if we need more stitches, he'll be fine. And a story to tell is always good, right? Okay, we will see you all later. Bye-bye.